Hi there, this is Quarantining with Cody. I'm Cody, and I'm the Adult Teen Services Programmer at the Newport branch of the Campbell County Public Library. Today, we're going to make DIY tea bags. These are something quick and simple you can make at home that you can use for later when you go out grocery shopping. Now, we're going to need two things for this. One, a pair of scissors, and two, a relatively large t-shirt. So this is a good chance for you to go out, clean out your closet, and find something that works perfectly for you. So we can always just go and hopefully find something that you don't want anymore that we can easily cut up. I think this will work. Now, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do with the DIY tea bags are cut out the armholes where we're going to be able to carry our groceries. What we're going to do is we're going to cut off both sides of the arms of the t-shirt. I've already cut out one of the holes here, so it'll be a nice big open hole where you can easily put your hands through to carry it. So what we're going to start by doing is taking your scissors and cutting into the t-shirt. And then eventually, once you make your way in, you're going to go around the seam of the t-shirt, cutting out a perfectly circular hole. Now don't be afraid to move the t-shirt around so you can get it at better angles. You know, you can always tighten the hold to create more tension into the shirt. And if there are little pieces where you couldn't get to or it's not perfect for you, you can always go back later and, you know, cut off some parts that you don't like or amend them a little bit. So we're just going to go through and cut the t-shirt apart. There's some areas where you might need to, like I said, go through and move the shirt around, you know, pick it up, turn it over, like at this point right now, to get a better angle at what you're cutting. It's just not gonna work for me. There we go. As you can see, we have created a perfectly circular hole here. You might want to go back up and touch around some of the seam to take care of some of those little frays that have happened. But that should take, you know, a minute or two, either now or later on in the process. So now that we've made both of the holes we're actually going to be able to carry the bag with, we're going to have to actually create the hole we're going to be able to put the groceries in. So of course we have the neck hole here, but we're gonna actually create a little bigger hole so we have more room to be able to stick larger items into. So you can either freehand this, or you can do what I'm gonna do, which I'm actually gonna take a bowl I found in my kitchen and put it down, kind of guess the size. It's gonna make this a little bit bigger. And then I'm gonna take a marker here and actually going to create a line as a cutout guide. The bigger the bowl, of course, means the bigger the hole it can be. This is up to you, of course, so good luck. You can either eyeball it or, of course, use the bowl. After that, you're just going to find a way to make a little marking into it, And then, of course, just cut out the guide to make the hole bigger. And don't worry about making frays or any kind of mess ups, because you can always go back and fix them. I'm just going to eyeball it here for the rest of it because I already have a hole, and then work through the back. Of course, any part where there's been stitching is going to be harder to cut, but don't worry, you'll get through it eventually. And then just work your way back around. And then start on the other side until you have a perfect circle cut through. Like I said, parts where it's been stitched together are going to be the hardest to cut through, but you'll get there eventually. Now I've cut out a perfectly nice little hole that makes it easier to put the groceries into later. Now you can see I messed up a little bit on the frame, but you can always go back, like I said, and cut it out later to make it more even and perfect to whatever your standards are. Okay, so our next step here is to close off the bottom hole, to make a perfectly sealed bag that we can actually carry our groceries in. Now if you're using a bigger shirt and you actually want to make the bag size smaller, you can always go ahead and cut off a little bit of the bottom here to make the bag smaller. I want a bigger bag, so I'm of course going to keep it the way it is. But what we're going to do is we're going to create little strips of the t-shirt by cutting into it about 2 inches, inch and a half, 2 inches. You can of course use a ruler to mark the edgings, but I'm going to eyeball it here. And then the width is going to be about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. And of course, you're going to want to create strips on both sides because you're going to tie both sides together. And you're just going to go through the whole length of this t-shirt here and eventually cut your strips out. Once you have that done, you can move on to the next one, cutting about another 3/4 of an inch to an inch out. And about an inch and a half to 2 inches up. I'm just going to keep going and cutting these. I might fast forward here in a minute to make this completely transition faster. Now that you've cut the strips on the bottom of the t-shirts, we're going to tie them together. Very simply, you're going to start at one of the ends, take the two that are on top and the bottom of the t-shirt that are matching the sides, and you're going to tie them together. And once you've tied them together again, double knot it so it will be as strong as possible. From there, you're just going to keep going down the line until you've, tied all the strips of the fabric that you have. And hopefully that will complete your bag. I'm just going to go through here. It's going to take me a minute, of course, but we'll get there. Now, as you can see here, it's going to start to bunch up, which is perfectly fine as you go along and tying these. It just means that the base of the t-shirt is shaping and forming, so it'll be more bag-like in the end. It will not be a flat bag as the t-shirt currently is. Once you've double knotted the strips down here at the bottom of the t-shirt, you're pretty much completed with this project. You can always go back and trim some of the fray that you may have had at the arms or the neck, or some of this fringe. If it's too long, you can always cut that down as well. If you wanted to add some additional things to your shirt or your tea bag, you can go ahead and do that at this point. If you want to bedazzle it, add some fabric paint to it, feel free to do so. Other than that, you're free to go ahead to the grocery and start filling it up. This has been Quarantining with Cody. Thanks for watching this video. Feel free to like and follow us on the Campbell County Public Library Facebook page and Instagram. And drop your pictures of your DIY tea bags in the comments below.